great. Making a moves becoming great ain't solid now, but when you eat and everybody wanna play, wanna see it at the table, wanna act like they grateful. Don't mess with outsiders, y'all looking real unstable. If anything, they should ask me how I do it. Start taking notes, recording my every movement. I know that I'm the best and I ain't gotta.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to KB's Community. I'm here today with David Lopez.
Yo.
And my special guest co-host today, Tracy Lynn. So, welcome, David.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. You're one of the nicest guys I know in music around here.
Yeah,
so
I appreciate that. I don't know, just being me.
Yeah, you're a nice guy. So, can you tell the people a little bit of your background? What do you do creatively? We'll start with that.
Yeah, sure. So David Lopez is my name and my artist name. Born in Chicago, but I moved up here to Milwaukee a couple years ago. I've been making music for a long time, putting out, I guess my first formal project was like 2015. So I mean, since then, I would say like officially. So I have a lot of music out, run some shows, and now we have a pretty like stable residency show up here. So that's kind of how I've been ingrained in the Milwaukee music scene. That's how I know you from running, it's called the Passion Park Experience at Bremen Cafe, third Friday of every month. I didn't mean to start the interview off with plugging stuff already. But,
you should. Please, absolutely do.
No, but I mean, so that's how I've really been like now involved in the Milwaukee music scene. It's been a really great way to meet people and stuff. So I feel like I came from Chicago and now I'm part of the Milwaukee music scene. So,
So how's that been? What has been different between the Chicago music scene and the Milwaukee music scene?
Well, I mean, it's funny because everything's about timing too, right? Because it's also like stages in my life. Like I'm probably more prepared to be like more out there now than I mean, I was obviously doing a bunch of shows in Chicago too, but I was probably still working to get where I feel like I'm comfortable now.
Yeah.
So it's all about those stages. But I would say at the time, like when I was there, it's just, I mean, there's more, the city's just bigger, right? So just more stuff going on like every night. There's just more things happening. So I think it's harder, probably a little harder to get attention from anybody really, like the stuff just moves fast. So I'd say pace of things I think is the thing that I've noticed the most. Like here it's like degrees of separation. Like in Milwaukee I feel like there's probably 2 or 3, whereas like if I don't know you, I probably know somebody who knows you, or like, you know, one other person away. Chicago 6 degrees of separation is like pretty real. Like you probably don't know them at all. Like,
right. It's a huge city.
Yeah. So I just feel like I've been able to get in touch with more people here like quicker.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think that's a good thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
The monthly show thing, you know, like I get a lot of people thank me a lot for running the show. And I really, you know, I'm grateful that people feel that way. But the truth is it helps me a lot. It's helped me meet people, meet artists, like collaborate with people and stuff like that too. So it's been like really beneficial for me as a creative.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So what was your inspiration behind beginning your monthly shows?
So this show started in Chicago in like 2017, and it was originally half music, half comedy. Because my close friend, Mike Rice, shout out to Mike, he's in Ireland, was a comedian. And so we did a show half and half, right? But the real reason for me to start the music part is because like, I mean, we all do music here, like just so many like showcases that just felt wrong that I was in, that just didn't feel right. There was a lot of scam stuff going on, a lot of pay to play stuff, which, you know, whatever. I mean, if you want to get into that.
Wait a minute. Hold on, pause. She wants to get into it. I see it on her face.
I mean, I'm going to let you finish.
Well, that's
just honestly, that's just really the start of it, was just me being like, all right, like usually when I would do a showcase or something like that, I would like meet the manager of the bar or something like that. And I'll kind of just like ease in. And then eventually they would book us and they trusted my crowd and stuff. And then like, we just got the monthly show, but the real reason was because I wanted to just try my own thing.
Yeah.
And so it's grown and like it's taken time to kind of get to where I really like, now this is like kind of what I wanted it to be, I feel like. But the real start of it was just because I was like sick of the bullshit. Can I swear? Bruh. Okay, I was sick of the bullshit. Yeah.
I believe in freedom of expression. So
okay, right. I forgot you had the button that has all that shit.
Okay, so let's get into the bullshit a little bit, I guess.
What's your experience with it?
Well, just as a woman.
Okay.
Stop being weird, nigga.
Period.
Is what I got to deal with
Yes.
all the time. Like the industry is extremely weird. It's a lot of like how you said, pay for play.
Yeah.
But with women, the pay ain't the money. It's like they think that you're supposed to flirt with them. You're supposed to make them feel good, butter them up, all the things. You're supposed to allow them to make you feel uncomfortable,
Exactly.
or else.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you
that's
better
it.
not have a
Oh, yes.
boyfriend.
Oh,
You
yes,
know,
very
so
much
it's just
so.
like, yeah, that's the industry for you. And that's why I don't mind taking long for projects to come out.
Right.
Because it's like when you it's to the point where I have people that have been paid to do things for me, but because they're not getting from me what they want from me, it's still taking long. So it's like people be like, well, why don't you just pay and stop? You know, because I will admit I was that person where everybody like, oh, she's cute, I'm gonna do it for free. Bet.
Yeah.
Bet.
Mhm.
But it's like I'm to the point where now I
But
don't
how
care about
free
the
is
cute.
free?
Yeah, I don't care about the cute discount.
Yeah.
And so I'm willing to put money behind it, but you would be like very discombobulated at the fact that even with money behind it,
It's still
like elongated process.
Mhm.
because I was actually just having this conversation with somebody about not, I mean, to steer off a little bit, but similarly is that like the idea that like sometimes people will say they'll do stuff for free, but then like it either takes forever or like your notes or
Yes.
something like that. So it's always like, yeah, I
Yes.
would have paid for it because the convenience. Sometimes you're paying
Exactly.
for the convenience, right?
Right.
But what you're
Mhm.
saying is you're paying for the convenience and you're still not getting
And
it.
I'm
because of
still
the,
not
like,
getting it.
Yeah,
And
that's
usually because people have ill feelings toward you after you don't return certain feelings or
Yeah.
don't flirt back or
Yeah.
don't whatever.
Or they get in that, you know, you ever seen like, it's like a prime example when like people say it about girls getting into relationships and guys are just like, hey, this is what I want. This is not what I want. And girls think they still can persuade the guy to love them and then get mad later when he doesn't. That's how the music industry
That's how you
is. It's
feel.
like, I'm telling you, hey, I don't want you.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Wait,
mean,
where is that?
That's
I don't fuck with you.
Yeah, that. I mean, it sounds extremely frustrating. Obviously, I can't relate to those exact things. I will say, like, we try to, and I can't always do it because it seems like I just don't always. I probably haven't met enough female artists, but I know a fair amount up here, and we always try to make sure that we book at least like one or two.
Mhm.
It doesn't always happen, I'll be honest, and I feel bad when it doesn't, but we try to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that there's a hesitation from a lot of artists because of these things, I would imagine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you don't deal
yeah.
with that often.
We as women in the industry definitely have to look at things through different perspectives.
Yeah.
Like we have to look at what your angles could possibly be, which it's sad that it has to be that way, but yeah, we do gotta look at the angle before we even consider getting into
I think
certain
intention,
business.
especially with art, intention is like so important. And so like you saying about like how after the feelings get murky or whatever, then the work is not as good when it comes back or it takes forever, actually makes a lot of sense to me because like just like logically, if they're not feeling it and not even willing to give it all, like even your notes, if you give notes back, it's gonna be like they're gonna think like you're being too hard or something like that. That's because the feelings already got. Like you gotta be able to zoom out when it comes to art and like
exactly, and you gotta be able to
Right.
fall in love with art.
Yeah.
More than the person. Like
Well, it's business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Too, like,
but when it's art, it's easy to mix and match because it's
No.
art. Art comes from the heart.
Yeah.
It comes from emotion. So it's like, but so many people will get wrapped up in that because it's like, oh, I'm giving you so many compliments because I really believe in your art. You're really dope. And you're taking that ish personally.
Yeah.
And it's like now you're over here thinking that this is some kind of passionate connection when it's like, no, I'm passionate about your art.
Yeah.
Because it's a part of
my
art.
own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
exactly. And that's the thing people do sometimes because of the fact that making music together is honestly, it is an intimate experience. That doesn't mean it has to be intimate on other levels, and often people will get confused.
Of course.
Exactly.
I mean, look at how many relationships end up happening from like didn't Nelly and Ashanti get started like from making a song? Like I mean, like there's a lot of those things. Like I also have like some acting experience in my life, and like obviously you see all of these times that relationships start after they were paired up as a couple in a movie.
And it's so scary.
Yeah.
It's like there is, I mean, art is like you said, it hits on some emotional things, but then obviously
because I mean, art is life basically. It's the expression of life.
Life, right?
So it's hard. Yeah, you know, it's hard to separate the two sometimes for some people.
And then that's like, so that goes to like do you live a crazy life to make your art better? Like, you know, like people would always have that. And I adamantly, now that I'm older, I've agreed that like, you don't, I mean, I make better music when shit is clear for me.
Exactly.
So like, and not everybody, and some people think that you have to live insane to get the stories to write about and stuff like that. And that like comes from like old rock stars.
That just comes from you being a drug addict, because that type of love has dopamine. It's like that, what do you call it? The honeymoon phase is full of dopamine. And so if you're used to just constantly having honeymoon phases with multiple people, then you're just a dopamine addict. You're just a drug addict. And music is your drug of choice.
Right.
Or love. I'm sorry. Love is your drug of choice.
Or music could be something.
Music. Yeah. Music can be your drug of choice too. And it's just like, that is not going to get you far. That may get you some hits, but it's not going to make you pop forever.
I was going to say, there has been some great songs that have come from that kind of
That's
lifestyle.
true.
Like,
Absolutely been. You got your Prince.
But the thing is, here's the thing. If you are a storyteller, like, think about it. Do you know writers who write screenplays and movies and TV shows? They don't be living most of the stuff that they write about. Like, you can literally, if your imagination is big enough, or if you learn from other people's experiences, if you dive deep into something, you can literally write about anything.
100%. I think rap is probably if now that we're saying it, I'm thinking like it's probably the only genre where you're expected that everything you say is like mostly real. Like whereas other genres, that's just like not even like, you don't even think about it. I don't think. But I mean, there's something to it. I mean, that's where rap comes from. That's like, it comes from storytelling. So like, but it doesn't always have to be first person. I mean, like listen to like so many Kanye records, he's not rapping about stuff that's real in his life or whatever. I just use him as an example.
I feel like it started that way though, because it was just a way for the people who are struggling to tell their story to the world. So I feel like that's probably why we're so stuck on, you need to be telling what you're actually living when it comes to rap, because it started about people in the struggle, writing about their struggle, and then that's now what we consider all rap should be.
And that sucks, because I like to shoot people in my music.
Well, you know, I don't know why I just thought about I just thought right away about like, because we're thinking about like older stuff, and a huge inspiration for me is Tupac, but like Brenda's Got a Baby is a great example of a song that he was just like writing a story. It was like, it's like writing a movie. He like wrote a mini movie. It has nothing.
But he probably did
witness some of these things.
That's probably from some people in his hood or a little cousin or something. But the thing is, it doesn't have to be your direct experience.
No.
Have you ever, you know what, one thing I noticed is that sometimes music sound better when it's just fabricated and flexing. Oh my God, I've had so many love songs written about me, and I'm like, that's trash. It's so trash, because it's like,
that was flexing right there though, by the way. I've had so many love songs written about me.
It's a true flex. It's not that deep. Wait.
I'm telling you guys, it's wrong. It's wrong.
But it's like,
it's wrong.
Every time I've heard it, like I've heard some love songs, it'll be so forced.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think 100% of them were written about people who wanted to romance me instead of the people that I actually was in a relationship with.
So they imagined the love story. Though. That's the thing.
Maybe, but it's like, it's always sounds terrible because it's like so forced, and they're trying to put too much of the truth in there. And my heart. Sometimes, it's just like sometimes you got to grow up.
Well,
David, what do you like to write about?
No, I appreciate you asking. I've evolved. I was gonna piggyback off that a little bit. I've evolved in how I write a little bit. I think in the sense that like when I was younger, honestly, most of it was like, I got to figure out a way to tell my story, which is still true. Figure out a way to tell my story and it doesn't necessarily always have to be true, but I can figure out ways metaphorically to do things. But what I've really evolved on, I think, is like the biggest, most important part to me when I'm making like just one song is like capturing the feeling. And so like if I just look at it like I'm trying to capture that feeling, like you were saying for a love song, I'm just trying to capture that feeling and that emotion for 3 minutes. It gives you a lot more variety into like how you can get there. Like I don't like, even when I'm telling a story, I'll veer off for a couple bars and just be like something else, because if it still kind of can bring you back in,
that helps so much.
Yeah, that's my favorite way to write, actually, is kind of just be like, all right, I know what I kind of want to say, but I give myself the freedom to kind of like bounce off the walls a little bit, do a couple metaphors that might seem like they're irrelevant, and then kind of tie back in. And then honestly, I don't know if people understand what I was saying for all the time, but like maybe they will later on, maybe in 10 years.
Yeah.
You know,
And the thing
whatever.
is, sometimes the thing about music is people will put their own personal feelings on whatever you're saying. So it'll be interpreted in however way it's meant to be perceived to them.
I'm glad you said that, because I don't like to, like, if you ask me something specific about a specific line or something like that, I probably would answer it, but I don't love to answer that because I would rather, like you said, like have it mean what it means to you. Like, whatever it means to you, just let that be. Like,
That's
don't,
what
like,
art is supposed to be.
Exactly.
It's supposed to be like, I draw something, whether it's with my voice or my hands or whatever, and I put my emotion in it, but you interpret it from your own point of view.
Yeah. And that's exactly right. I think so. Like it's like if the shoe fits, and this is like could be negative or good or whatever, or bad. It's like if the shoe fits, try it on. See if it applies to you in your life in any way. Yeah. Clearly I've done it.
But do you guys believe that? Like, do you guys believe that people should be able to criticize art because it is just art? I believe you should.
You're allowed to have an opinion on it.
Yeah, I think you should have an opinion, but I don't believe like criticizing art should necessarily be a thing unless it's asked for, because it's just art. You don't have to love it. It's always somebody for that person.
Well, it's all subjective, right? There's no real answers to it. I mean, you could say like the quality was bad or something like that. And like the problem is that there is like an industry off of criticizing everything, whether it's music or movies or whatever. But I mean, like I would say the example of it though is like when you see former artists who have podcasts or any sort of media, even like former athletes, they're usually not quite as, I feel like there's just more, they know that there's more of a vagueness, openness to it when it comes to art. It's like, doesn't necessarily mean like, you might not rock with that song or that style, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have value. Like,
right. It's like, that's true. I think that's a big thing that I've noticed for myself, and then for others is like I would see someone shoot an artist down, and I'm like, I hate seeing that, because it's like, and I hate when an artist like actually listens too much. Yeah. Because it's like, that's your art. It doesn't matter what a person thinks. Just keep going. Of course, it's a such thing as not having good quality music. It's just mean you didn't go to a great studio, or you just didn't know how to communicate what you wanted. But saying someone's entire music industry or someone's entire painting profession or their modeling catalog is just not it. It's like, who are you to say that? And also, that's not like that's not constructive. Exactly. Like there's ways to do it. There's I think that's the word. Yeah, it's just not like don't take constructive criticism from people who don't construct shit. Right?
Exactly. Exactly.
From your couch.
And honestly, you don't even know, like you could be breaking somebody's whole dreams and like their self-esteem. Yeah. Maybe I'm too emotional. I be feeling for people. Yeah. Like, don't tell him his music is trash.
Well, again, like
but the thing is, you can tell people what they need to work on, but also tell them what's good about something. Yeah. Because there's usually one thing you can pick out that's decent. Yeah, you know, that's how you should talk to people. And well, I learned it's a slight difference with men and women. With men, you want to tell them what you appreciate before you criticize them. Yeah, we're babies. And with women, with women, you want to tell them what you respect. So, and respect is not, people look at respect as a word, they make their own definition of it, but respect is literally admiring someone for what they can do. So as a woman, you know, sorry, but my statistic is I should be able to only do this, this, and this. The fact that you're a mother, you're this, you're that, and you just made this amazing song is dope. However, I think you should do that. Do you know how crazy she would listen more if you started off like that? And the same with a man, like, oh my God, I appreciate how strong you are and the fact that you're a man, but the fact that you're doing music and, you know, being left brain for a second. However, I think you should do this, this, and this. People would listen that much better. Yeah, I think that's just a communication tactic. Yeah. It's just like, if you want to get in, you don't start. If you want to get into a real conversation or like have value, provide value, you don't start with something like super negative right away. Yeah. Right? Like, it's all about approach. It's all about intention, really. Like, do you actually want to help improve, or are you just here to be exactly?
You know.
So, David, I do feel like you are one of those people who actually is trying to help improve, because I feel like a lot of your shows you put a lot of brand new artists that really nobody knows about. And then you usually have a little section in the beginning like basically talking about how to navigate the music industry and how to get into things.
Yeah, we started that this year.
Yeah.
You've been at a couple of those, right? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The Q&As in like the first hour of the show. We don't do them we do them most every month now. And it was just the idea behind it was really like I just could feel the energy in the room was like right. Like the shows we were creating was like you said, we get a lot of new artists. We got a lot of artists who maybe are experienced but haven't hit Milwaukee yet. So like, I mean, what's great about where the show is at Bremen is that like they're always free shows because that's all they do there, is just free music. So like it started really low risk. So we had months where there just wasn't that many people there, but over time it built, and I think the energy was so right that it was like, it just seemed like a lot of people like were into how do we grow and stuff. So I was like, all right, well, let's just make a room where in the beginning we just say like, all right, who dropped music this month? Let's talk about it. And then we had a couple guests who like wanted to talk about stuff. So now it's kind of like, we'll have like an interview, almost like a live podcast. And then we just talk for half an hour and then we get into it. And really, I mean, I appreciate you saying that. I think it's all like intention again, is that the reason I started the show was to avoid all the BS and bullshit of all this. So now what it became is a room that like we talk about all the bullshit and stuff like that. And it's like
I remember speaking my piece at that.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's honestly something that I'm probably the most proud about in the music things that I've made, is that like the environment we're creating feels really right. It feels like
it's very positive.
Yeah,
I can tell you, I've been to shows where people are so cliquey, they'll get up and walk out on any artist that is not their friend.
Yeah.
And I can tell you the shows you run, like it's just supportive and good vibes from everybody.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, that's a thing that, go ahead.
I can also say I feel like it's partially because a lot of your artists and guests are from Chicago. So they're not in that competition with us in that weird way. You know, they don't have nowhere to go. But no,
either I drive 2 hours or I just wait.
You're probably exactly right though, because I'm sure in Chicago, actually, I remember in Chicago, there's still a clicky thing to a certain extent. It's really about the room you create, but the fact that they all come from there and they're all like separate groups and stuff like that, I think does help it. And like none of us like, I'll shout out a couple people. I mean, shout out Jesus, who has helped me kind of grow and meet a lot of people in this. None of us are like, we like just want to work with awesome people, and just like, for me, it's like, if you care about it and you want to be involved, I'll try to do my best to get you involved. And like that, I think has like, it feels, without being cheesy, like it feels like people are starting to trust me. Which is great.
Definitely.
Like, that means a lot.
I definitely feel like you have a good reputation. Honestly, people don't. I've never heard a bad thing about you.
Well, gosh, that means a lot. Yeah. We care about this shit. Like, we care about this shit for real.
Yeah. Hence the name Passion Part.
Yeah, that was I started it when I was gonna drop my first album, Preacher's Son, in 2015, and it took me a while to think of the name.
Are you Preacher's Son?
Yeah,
we're gonna get into that later.
My mom is shout out to Sonny. But so my first album was called that, and I was trying to think of like, you know, when you drop a project, like you put a name for the publisher or whatever. So like I was trying to think about it, and then I was like, I'm from Rogers Park, Chicago, and I just kind of like evolved on that. J. Cole's one of my favorite artists, Dreamville. Like he's from Fayetteville, so like there was a lot of things that crossed over there. So I thought of the name, and been alive since. We're coming up on 10 years. Crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Crazy.
So what's the best thing about running the shows, and what is the biggest challenge?
Best things is just meeting the new people. Honestly, it's just like it's like one of my favorite days of the month. Every month, I'm like, this is awesome. Like, and it's like it's home court advantage for me. So what I did is, and what I've been made really like a point to do is like, I always open the show around 9:15, my like 20-minute set. So every month, like if I had people that were coming from out of town, they just know the third Friday of the month you can come see me. It's like my home court. So that was really focused on doing that. So that's like one of my favorite things. I know every month I can do something cool. I have a 20-minute set, and like the crowd's gonna be great. So that's awesome. I guess a negative, I mean, like it's still an event to run. So on the night of the show, there's always some stress. I'm running around. I mean, you know how these shows are like, we really try to, most artists are really good at getting their music in, but there are occasions where it's like last second we're downloading stuff, figuring it out, you know? So there's still stressful things that happen on the night of any event you run. So that's probably, I guess, some of the negatives, but for the most part, it's pretty low risk, and we just, you know, it's been a really good experience.
You've been doing it here at Bremen for how long now?
Oh man, I just saw a memory on Facebook that was from a year ago. I think like almost 2 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, but like consistently with this new date, it's like we're coming up on like a year, I guess, for like consistent every month. Probably a year and a half, 2 years. So it's been a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. We're out here, but I got a lot of a lot of music that I'm gonna be putting out here soon, and I have a lot of music out, so it's like always a good time for me to like just test stuff out live too. And it's been really good, like live feedback. Like,
are you working on a project right now?
Yeah, I am. I've been saying on my Instagram forever, like my next solo album, because I dropped a lot of singles. As you probably know, like it's the environment that we're in now. It makes more sense to drop a lot of singles just to get promotion up and just to really get music out. And then I dropped a couple. I had an EP that I just came out, and I have a couple more in the works. But the whole time I've been doing that, I've been working on my next solo album. So that should come out this winter. I actually have the release date and name and all that stuff, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that yet. But
Okay.
but it's coming out this winter. We're planning a release show and everything. I'm really very excited about it. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
I was tempted to just be like when I'm dropping it, but it's a far in advance, so like don't worry.
Okay. Just know it's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah.
What about you?
Have questions?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what about you though? Music, what's going on? Got some stuff dropping?
don't
The plot thickens.
me.
Now you got something
Stop. I got some stuff I've been working on.
Okay.
It's been a little bit of a slower process.
Okay.
I had a song I was going to drop like now-ish, but I felt like I needed to do something that was more just like, I don't know, more focused on me, just because it'll be my first single in a month.
Okay.
And it was a lot of the featured artist.
Yeah.
So like I feel like he like most of the song kind of was his.
Yeah.
So I was like, and I know they were like, I was kind of being pushed. Oh, come on, do it. But I'm like, I need something that feels,
like
it feels like, hello,
Yeah.
it's me. It's me.
Was it a feature or a collab?
It was
It
was a feature that turned into a duet almost, because I found an artist that I knew would be really great on it.
Yeah.
After having like sitting down and made the beat.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, that's why I want to be featured. But then kind of.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So I mean, it's a great song, but
amazing.
it just can't be the first single off of
what you're working on.
Yeah.
So maybe have like a double EP or something.
I don't know.
Do you have like a schedule? Like, how do you try to like stay scheduled when you drop stuff, or like? I mean, you said a month. You said a month. That's a good. Like, if you drop a song every month, that's not bad. Like,
I used to, but right now I feel like a lot of people try to drop something like every week or drop something super often, when you really could drop something every month to like 2 months or even like 3 months, but very much focus on promoting it.
Yeah.
And like building off of each single at a time.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, there's
no right or wrong way. There's no one way to do it.
There is no one way to do any of this stuff. Honestly, I've tried. I feel like for me, I just like try new things like all the time. I did the weekly thing for like 3 months. I didn't feel like that was as beneficial. I feel like, and especially like time wise. But the monthly thing, I feel like the actual platforms, I mean, what I've heard is like, I feel like Spotify wants you to drop something like 4 to 6 weeks, every 4 to 6 weeks. But that being said, I think like what you said, I mean, like this is pretty much, I haven't dropped anything since July, which I feel weird about. I'm like, why is this? Because we were supposed to have something out, which we got some music coming out this month or October yet. But what I've just done and what I always do anyways is just take every song and just keep stretching it out. Keep promoting it, promote it all. You need to make stuff to promote these songs people probably haven't heard. I mean, however many streams you're getting, there's still more people that haven't heard it.
Exactly.
So it's a new song to a lot of people. So it's still, I find value in promoting old stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still going through that actually, but yeah.
Going through what you
Well,
said?
no, I just like figuring out what to like, is figuring out like what to promote still off of like what records to just like keep hammering home basically. Like Run It Up is a song of mine that I'm like consistently putting content out there just because like it's been working. So
yeah,
like, all right, I'll just keep doing it. If it seems like it's getting new, I don't know if it's translating, but I know that the content seems to be working. So I just like keep making it without also like balancing like, of course there's a balancing act of being like too redundant to your fans and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I don't know. We had the conversation before where it's like, if you're annoying if I was annoying to you, you probably weren't going to be the full fan anyways.
Yeah,
something like that
right.
we were talking about, like
how a lot of people, you start posting more and then they start getting irritated by it and then it'll just like unfollow you.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like they weren't going to be your fan in the first place, probably.
Sometimes, yeah, they're usually other artists. And sometimes they unfollow you just because they feel like they're not as like, how do you say it, consistent as you are.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's annoying. It's like, damn, I want to chill, but I have this person making me feel competitive. I get it. I don't care, but I get it. But yeah, I think those are the people who unfollow me when I go crazy with my promotion.
It's me and it's those people and super religious people that follow me.
Oh man, or people who
time.
follow me for the wrong reasons anyways. Like, why
Yeah,
were you
right.
here?
To watch and gossip.
Like,
Yeah.
I need a whole why
Yeah.
is you here button from Jocelyn Hernandez, please. Oh, why is you here? Like, a lot of people, I really don't understand why they follow me, or they follow me because of a picture and presumed who I was. And then when they see all these other parts of me, it's like, you could have just scrolled down when you first followed me.
It's definitely not worth thinking about why or making up why people like follow or unfollow
That's
you.
That's true.
And I mean, even when it comes to like annoying comments, like I usually just like, I mean, I try not to, of course, I've been caught up and angry before and responded to comments, but for the most part,
I delete
really-
comments.
Yep.
I don't even do that because I actually just try to like avoid, like just don't respond because I'm like, all right, well maybe that'll just like, looks like it does, it is what it is, because that's usually says more about the person. Like, why are they spending time? I don't comment. I rarely comment on anybody's shit, like especially negative. Like I can't even really imagine that mindset. It's just not really it. So
that's the biggest thing is with Facebook, which is so weird because that like Facebook is kind of like a Twitter. It's like I just want to post my opinion. So I'll be like, oh my God, kittens are just so cute. Like, I just love kittens. I don't see who can hate kittens. Oh, well, I can hate kittens because I was allergic to I did not ask you, Marge Simpson. Like, relax. It's always like someone put in their opinion and it never matters.
Yeah. Right.
Those are the comments I just delete because I am kind of crazy and I will be in my head like, what?
No, it's hard. I mean, look, this is a thing that like people didn't have to deal with before, but now we have to deal with it all the time. It's like you do, yeah, of course you get wrapped up in the world. If you're on your phone posting stuff, like eventually some stuff is gonna get in your head, and it's just how it is. We're people,
right.
Like
I get it.
So like having to deal with that. I mean, but it goes like if I get bad comments, it's usually specifically about like they don't like a song or something like that.
Oh no.
But I can think in my head now. I can be like, yeah, but we already talked about how music is subjective. Okay, they don't like the song, whatever. Like,
oh, you got some bold people. Like that's really a why are you following me? Like why are you following me?
Is it people who follow you, or is it just random?
TikTok or YouTube Shorts a lot of times. So it's not even usually. That's probably just it just comes up on their page and whatever. They don't like it and they talk whatever. People talk shit. But like.
Jesus.
I don't. That just you weren't gonna be my fan in the first place. Like, that doesn't matter. Like,
you can hate from outside the club.
Can't even get in.
Lego. Like, stop.
No, I don't. I mean,
yeah, that's a flex in itself, though, because you're literally watching me.
Like
I that type of stuff doesn't upset me. Like I usually get upset when it's more personal. Like it's like that one cousin or that one friend or person that always books you and seems really cool, but then always want to speak against you when you got something positive to say or something. Yeah. But like the random people, I don't know. I think my Instagram filters that too. Like I don't ever see.
Is that you can do that?
Yeah. It does it on it does it on its own.
I think Tom's kicking us out.
Oh, sorry,
Tom. No, it wasn't him. It was somebody else.
Do they got a boo button?
Getting kicked out.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
My bad.
I actually had a follow up for you. You said the religious people on your page, and now this brings me back to the preacher son thing.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much.
So because that is something that I dealt with early on when I first like was like officially like putting out rap music and putting out all my music. Like I definitely took me time.
Making the devil's music.
I mean, the funny thing is though, nobody ever actually said that to me. It was just in my head that I just still knew that like.
That they were still judging you silently.
Of course. Yes. And that was still of course happening. So like I did something I had to get over. So I'm like,
exactly. And that actually was such a struggle for me for a long time.
Really?
Because I was very extremely religious. Okay. And like that was like your entire community and really the only community that you were supposed to be a part of. So that took me a while
So you probably
because I was like, oh, these are people who I thought loved me unconditionally because that's what they're preaching all this. Yeah, but y'all over here judging me for making some music.
Yeah.
And not a single one of the songs that I've actually released has a cuss word in it.
Oh,
There's
really?
literally nothing explicit in
Really?
any of the music that I have out already.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it'll stay that way, but I'm
different.
Because at this point, I'm like, I don't care because y'all are
Was
going to
that on
judge me
purpose,
either
though?
way.
You
It
did
was
that
on
on purpose?
purpose because I had parents, and I was like, oh, I'm going to embarrass my family. This type.
Oh, it sucks. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, that sucks.
It happens.
I think it's relatable. I think that's. I
Yeah.
think I'm sure. Like I mean, I had to a certain extent, but I don't think I was. It sounds like you were probably just more entrenched in it.
Yeah,
little bit,
very
like,
much.
I mean, like my mom is the one who's a priest. She's an ordained priest my whole life. But it was just, I don't know. It was just like not that. She was my number one fan. Like, as soon as I started dropping stuff, she was like my number one fan. I think she just knew you got to do your own path. You
Exactly.
do your thing, like,
Same with my mom.
Really?
She like lets me do what I want. She's very, very religious.
okay.
And she'll speak on something like, oh, you said so many cuss words. You said bleepity bleepity bleepity. But she be vibing to it, like she always was my biggest fan. I think with her it's about my entire life honesty. If I'm honest with her first, and if I can explain to her why and what, and this and that, like whatever anybody else says. I think some parents, what I've noticed is they get on their kids because of they just want to look a specific way. But me and my mom, like, I understood that too a little bit with her, but it was more of we're gonna talk first. So if it's something like as deep as the big thing with girls, the losing the virginity, dun dun dun, she knew about it first.
Okay.
Sisters were teasing me about it or anything. Mom already knows. We had already talked about that, So it's like I don't feel uncomfortable. It's not, nobody can walk up to you and be like, well, your daughter is sleeping with my son, So it's just like, and then she already knew to be well kept. I already knew to protect myself. I already knew to carry myself in a specific way. So it could never be rumors and things. And I think that's how relationships should be with your children. Like you need to have adult conversations with them and not treat them like they're some puny peasant because they're younger or smaller.
Right.
Yeah. No, I think that's builds trust. I mean, that's what that is. It's trust. Yeah.
Your kids are at the sponge age right now,
They're
aren't
tiny.
they?
Yeah, they're tiny.
As in they soak up everything.
Yeah. And to your
How
point,
old are
though,
your daughters again?
2 and like 9 months.
Okay.
The babies.
Yeah.
But we do try to, since they were both born, we try not to baby talk them at all. Like, I just try to just talk to them regular.
So hard. Thank you.
Yeah, I of course some of that, but like, I mean, my oldest like talks a lot. And I mean, I'm actually credit Miss Rachel to a lot of that, but I don't know if you know who that is, but shout out to Miss Rachel, our other babysitter.
That's really good.
No, but like I feel like it helps just talk to her normal.
Definitely, that's the best way kids soak up like vocabulary and like that's how you see like 2-year-olds.
I'm just like, yo, what up?
Using adult words.
Yeah.
Because I know like when I worked at a Montessori school with kids that age, they were learning huge words because they were around. They were in the school with like up to 14-year-olds, and we weren't really supposed to sit there and baby talk them.
No, that's exactly. That's awesome. That's fine.
It's really, man, it's the best thing. I love kids. They're precious, and you'd be so surprised by what they can learn at a young age. Yeah. At a very young age.
Yeah. Oh, but I'm surprised every day. Like I'm like, what'd you say? My daughter told me the other day, we're in the car, she says, stop talking. I'm like, so I got a phone call. Coming through the speakers or whatever. She goes, stop talking. I was like, what? And she said, stop talking. And then I got off the phone. I was like, why'd you say that? She's like, because it was my turn.
That is adorable.
Like, all right. Like I kind of understand. I'm like, we're gonna have to work on this a little bit. But, like,
what was the funniest thing she said to you so far?
Oh, that was pretty good, but definitely like the copy, like there's been a couple times where like I said like, whatever. I said, actually, this happened the other day. Something was broken with the door, and I was like, fuck, and she was like, fuck. I was like, but it's like, look, when little kids swear, it's hilarious. I hope she doesn't do that like at school or something like that, whatever.
The thing is, you just can't let them see you laugh.
Yeah,
you can laugh, just don't let them see you.
It is what it is. They're tiny, like her timing is so good, and like the way, like just.
It's so funny. Like, how do you know when? It's it's crazy.
I want my kids to be funny.
Yeah, right.
I have a funny scenario. My nephew was like, I have a nephew who's so bad. And my sister usually does not punish him or anything.
Okay.
She's so spoiled. I mean, he's so spoiled. And like, but in front of her, she pretends to because everybody like looking like, oh my God, here comes Odie. His name is Odysseus. It's a beautiful name. And so he was 2 years old at the time. And he broke something. And it was funny. It was the newspaper thing we talked about. So she usually like newspaper her dog.
Yeah.
And so she like waved it at him. And he was so confused and curse words just started. He said, oh shit, oh fuck, oh no, oh shit. That was the funniest thing in the world because we were like, whoa.
It's great. It's great. You can laugh at that. You gotta laugh.
We didn't even know he knew those words and they just knew right when to say it. Like, oh no, what's going on? I've never seen this.
No, there's definitely been. Yeah, they're funny.
Yeah.
They're funny.
Kids are hilarious.
Kids are the future.
They're my
And a lot of
favorite
work, but they're
people.
funny.
They're literally my favorite. Kids and old people.
Yeah. The kids, at least you can like when they refuse to do something, you can pick them up.
You pick up an old person too. Come here. I'm just kidding. Put me down. But no, that's one thing. Kids and old people are very honest.
Yep.
They're very funny because it's like they're harmless. Like I understand a lot of people get like the worst parts of older people because they're like, F it. You know, I'm 80. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. But I like it.
I do too.
I like the honesty. I like the goofiness. Like, have you ever seen a youthful elder person?
Yeah, my grandma was that way.
Yeah, my great grandma.
Yeah.
She's like, don't look at me. I just work here. That's their favorite thing to say when everybody's
That's
being on.
hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, like what I used to ask my grandma before she passed was like, I'd be like, I'm like, do you feel this old? And like sometimes they don't feel that old. It just is what. And you know, to go to some of the things you deal with as women, like old people deal with a lot of issues too, where people like just assume they don't want to be talked to or assume they don't want to have a real conversation. So like, yeah, I'm sure it's hard for you. That's why. And then the bitter old person is like a stereotype, but it's true for a lot of people, probably because things over time, whatever, like
that, and they're usually in pain. Their bodies hurt.
True that.
They don't have love. Like they need love. I've watched my great grandma live to 99, and she did that off of love. And the moment that everybody got too busy, the moment that she got hurt for the first time and ever, she had failed and hurt herself. Is like the moment things started going downhill. Like I really felt like if everyone would have, kept our routines, she would have lived until she was 150. So like a lot of people were like confused at how devastated I was because they say that old thing, whoa, she lived a long life. Shut your ass up. Because it's like she could have lived longer than that, if we would have been there. But I was literally working 80 hours a week. It'd be sucky because I'd drive past her as a school bus driver, drive past her. It's like I can't stop all the time. But it's like I think that's a big thing is to make sure that you're using those years because these are history books. These are our only real history books. We got so many people lying to us, telling us what we used to be, what we used to do, what we're supposed to be. And we have these history books. And like you said, people are just acting like they don't even speak English.
It's crazy, that we're having this conversation right now because I was writing a song earlier. I was working on a song earlier. And like, I ended up writing a verse a lot about my grandma. And like, this weird thought, this is just whatever, but I'm like, man, because I used to have to like go down to the nursing home to see her like when in her last couple of years, whatever. And so that takes time. She's in Chicago. I'm from Chicago, so it took time to get down there. Just whatever time that I honestly probably wouldn't have now with the kids. I have 2 little kids. She passed right before my first daughter was born. So like it's just like a weird like almost it's like a scoot of time. It's like lost her, so that time that whatever, and then I have kids all of a sudden right away, and you're occupied with these kids, and like you start to see some of the traits of your family. Like I said, my grandma was goofy. Like I see that in like my kids.
Y'all making me feel guilty. Like
I call her Rainbow Baby.
Well, I wasn't even trying to go. I just made me think because I was literally just writing the song. I'm like, oh, we're having this conversation.
No, my grandma, she's from New Jersey, and we 2 years ago had to move her out here because her dementia got really bad, and she lived with my parents for a while. Then it just got too difficult at home. So she is in a memory care right now. And I feel bad because I definitely don't make it to see her as much as I should.
Yeah.
And I know she asks about me, so now I feel a little bad.
Yeah, don't feel bad. Just
Sorry.
make sure that you
Just
get
do
the time, and then understand that if you don't have the time, that it's divine time, and like everything happens for a reason. But if you can, and sometimes you got to make it like a lot of people. My reason for not seeing many people in my family is just ADHD.
Honestly.
Like out of sight, out of mind with me. Like
Mhm.
that's why I hang all my clothes up in color coordination. I will buy the same thing over and over again and forget I have it. So sometimes I just gotta make up something in my head, or like, okay, well, this is something I can do with my grandma, or I gotta go there for this, or leaving stuff over there. It kind of makes you, oh, okay, I gotta go there. Because it's like these are not people that can be on social media all the time. They can't remind you like, hey, I'm alive, hey, I'm here. So sometimes you will forget them, and that's just the sad
It
truth.
sounds so
It's
rude,
the sad
though, to
truth. And it's
say.
like in order to, you have to just start reminding yourself.
Yeah.
Put a picture by your drawer. So it's like, oh, okay, I gotta go.
This is why FaceTime is a game changer. But I mean, like, I
Yes.
know this older generation obviously still doesn't know that. But like when
Yeah.
we're older, if we're knowing FaceTime, we should be able to still see our
Man,
family.
we're gonna
at
be
home
such
and
happy
stuff like that.
elders
Because like I get to see my family back home because of FaceTime and stuff.
This
so I get to
time's
see
gonna be
kids,
like a hologram.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
future.
It's gonna be a little different.
people were so confused at how long I could stay out of town when I lived in Vegas, and I'm like, bro, I have a group chat with
Yeah.
my family. I feel like I'm next to them all the time. We FaceTime, so it's like,
to your point about feeling bad though, like there's no answer to any of that.
There's no
Like you're
answer.
honestly like, even like I made an effort. I tried to see my grandma. But people always were like, "Oh, you're good, you come." But like you still no matter what she passes, you still feel like I could have seen her more.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no, they're
Yeah.
your family. You love them. There's no answer to any of this. Like, there really isn't. But
Yeah.
do your best.
You did your best, and she's still here.
Yeah.
And she still asks about you even with dementia. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
loves
crazy
you.
because my grandma had dementia too, and
Yeah.
it is crazy. But like when you pick out then in those conversations the things that stick out, you're like, the mind is crazy because the things that it does, like, but you can still remember certain things.
Exactly.
Like it's crazy.
That's how my mind works.
My grandma thinks she's my age.
Remember what I want to remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. She like literally thinks she's my age.
Hey, maybe that's.
Aw,
she
that's
having
so cute.
fun?
I'm like, but how am I your granddaughter then? But you know what? You just enter their world. I used to work in memory care, so they tell you just enter their world.
Yeah.
It's
And
actually
it's so
fun.
fun.
There
I was
too.
just gonna say,
you get to
it's
make
so-
stuff up and not feel bad about it.
That
Like,
feels like a pretty good metaphor for life.
Yeah.
Like talking to people.
Yeah.
In the world. Like,
exactly.
yeah. Like
That's where my
Right.
everything comes from, is my great grandma. Like I was like, we were besties because it's just like she made me feel so comfortable at where I'm at, because I was in an era where I was the last child, the youngest of 8, and all of the things. And so I was always made to feel bad for being me. I was always made to feel bad for dressing provocatively. I was always made to feel bad for being cute. That's the Black community. The Black community will be like, why are you talking like that? As a woman, as a man, it'd be like, oh, his voice getting deep, he's so cute. As a woman, why are you talking like that? Why are you switching? Why is your stomach showing? So it's like, but my great grandma, she'd be like, you look good, and because her era was like the 60s, 70s, and that's where you had to wear lipstick every day, and you had to be the housewife, and you had to do this and that. And so she always made me feel good about being who I was, and like it kind of made me who I am today. So
that's also just the uniqueness of people. That's probably just been her character. Like,
exactly.
She's just like that.
She's just like that. Yeah. She's just like that. And my mom, she's the same. Like she wouldn't understand, and she would question more, of course. But after I'm so good at describing and explaining, she just like, oh, okay, I get it. Whatever. It makes sense now.
That's why you write songs.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Music.
so we are getting close to an hour. So I'm just going to ask you, what else is there anything else you wanted to talk about while you were here? Anything specific you wanted to get off your chest to speak about? Because oftentimes there's something some people want to say, no matter what it is.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like we had some good conversations. I mean, I don't love overtly promoting stuff. I just like talking about stuff. But I will say, I will just whatever. I'll just say, so my next album, there'll be 2 EPs beforehand that we're working on with like collaborative stuff. So I'm very excited about those stuff. But my actual solo album is gonna come out in the winter. I will say that I'll announce the name and all that stuff soon, but it's gonna be in the winter. There's gonna be like an actual like this is what I'm hoping for, since we do the monthly free show. This is gonna be my first time in a while doing an actual like ticketed album release. Like we're really planning it up down the stretch. So I really want to see if it's gonna translate. Just know we put out a lot of free stuff. We put out a lot of content for people. We're hoping when it comes time for our Super Bowl, that it will, we'll get a good get a good support system there. So that's what I'm really, really excited about. And I've never planned something this far ahead. So I'm really geared up.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you one more question.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think that we're doing really well in the local music scene, and what do you think that we're struggling with and that we need to do better?
Okay, so I think that from what I've seen, like a lot of content comes out pretty regularly, which I think is great. Like there's a lot of and unique, like a lot of people that are being themselves, I think, and that's the most important thing, because there's no answers to what's going to work in music and what's going to work, especially like in just like popular music, what's going to be popular and stuff like that. So I think the best advice is to be what you feel like is a good representation of you and like feel good about that. And I feel like there's a lot of really unique stuff here.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like that too.
Right.
There's so many different styles.
So many. And like, I definitely don't feel like I am in line. I just do my own thing, right? Whatever, which is to my point. But so I think that's awesome. And a lot of stuff is coming out, and there's like a lot of like really dope visuals that I'm liking. I mean, on the negative side, I mean, I would say this is for every city, is just like, and just music in general. Like, I know that rap seems like competition and compared to a lot of other people, but like there really is no need for scarcity when it comes to art.
No.
Like all of it can live.
We can all eat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
We can, and honestly, I think raising, like if we're all growing, it's better for everybody.
Exactly.
There's actually no negatives to it.
No,
So I don't
in
think,
fact,
yeah,
I feel like that's what's lacking. We're not like put on like we should be. Milwaukee as a whole, like the world don't really know about us like that, and I feel like that's a big reason.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, if we can all come up together, guess what? Then eyes will be on all of us.
Yeah, we're so small and
Yeah.
intimate. Like we can literally all make it if we all built each other up.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, right now we're shooting this at the time that they're doing the Dame Welcome Rally downtown for Dame Lillard. And, he's an artist, obviously. I'm not saying that that's going to shine everything on here, but I mean, that's another light to come to the city. And like he makes music, and he's going to probably be involved in the scene a little bit. So I think it takes time, like with anything, but like, I know we've seen artists here that have gotten posted on big publications recently. So like, I know some have been going crazy on TikTok and shit like that. So like, I think there is a time where Milwaukee is going to like,
definitely
have somebody. What you really need is like one artist to like just really bud. Just, like,
right. But it also has to be somebody who wants to represent the city. Because we have people who make it out of the city and just, But that's a whole different story.
Yeah. Well, we're now in a time where I don't think you really need to. I mean, you still get more opportunities if you're in some of those cities, but like you don't necessarily need to just be a successful musician. You could be here.
Yeah, but some people just want to get out, honestly.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well,
sorry, I can just keep talking.
I can too. We'll have you come back next season.
Yeah.
This is like we're nearing the end of first season right now. So this actually might be the last episode.
What?
Yeah.
Season finale?
Might be.
Oh, come on. Passion Park, baby.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Thank you, David Lopez, for coming and just talking about your role in the music scene. Thank you, Tracy, for coming and sharing your perspective. It's been a great show. All right. See you guys later. Yes, sir.
I know. Mine too. My other grandma's still here. Gotta make sure we see our grandparents.
He was looking at the clock. I was like, oh, am I going over? I'm sorry.
No. I always get a text. Let's start.
Oh, he does? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, we might still be live, though. Oh, we're not live. We're just recording.
Oh,
I think. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's not even an hour yet. We did good. Yeah.
When did these go up?
Tom,
What up, though?
what's up? When do my episodes drop? You're selling drugs this weekend? Or doing drugs this weekend?